Hey y'all, I'm Danielle. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. It's the holidays, y'all, and nothing adds to my mental fitness like a good holiday read. We talked about this last week, y'all, how mental fitness is a big part of fitness, and reading is a huge part of my mental fitness. So let's talk about what I'm reading. If you saw my TBR last week, you know that I have a stack of holiday books to read, and I have them divided into romances and fictions. Well, I started with the romances, so let's dive in and let me tell you what I've been reading. I started with Falling Stars by Fern Michaels. I said that I thought it was going to be just a pure holiday romance, and I was right, y'all. It rings all of the holiday romance bells. It's got snow, ski slopes, even a ski resort, hot chocolate, Christmas trees, all of those things to sort of give you the holiday feels. The story centers around Emily Ammerman, who's a ski instructor at the ski resort. It's her family's business, and she's worked there for years, her whole life essentially. And she loves the resort. She loves skiing. She loves everything about it. But we learn early on that her family has some expectations for her that she doesn't necessarily expect, and she's definitely not interested in living up to. So we watch that storyline build sort of as a sideline, but the main storyline is about how Emily gets herself involved in teaching one of the guests at one of the other local ski resorts to ski a big dangerous slope at her resort. The guest is a famous movie star, and come to find out that Emily's best friend, who is also a ski instructor and works with Emily, of course has a crush on him. So that's where the real story starts, as we watch that drama ensue. There are some secrets that we see develop as Emily gets to know this movie star. Some of what happens, some of the secrets that develop are predictable. Some of the things that I thought might develop never developed. I thought they might be an interesting way for the storyline to go, and that didn't happen. But there are some interesting twists and turns as we go along. But like I said, it is a pure tea romance, y'all. There's some drama, but if you're looking for high drama or any sort of mystery or twists and turns, this is not the book for you. It's a charming, cute holiday romance. Like I said, it'll give you the holiday feels. It's set in a beautiful setting, which is well described. And all in all, I'd say that it was a fun holiday read. The Christmas Wedding Guest was my next holiday read. Y'all, I enjoyed this book a lot more than I expected to. First of all, it also rang all of the Christmas bells. It gave me all the feels from the very beginning. It has all of the things that you look for in a sappy Christmas romance. It's got a charming small town decorated to the nines for Christmas and obsessed with winter. Charming people with that sort of small town nature or small town attitude. It even has charming pets, y'all. It has all the things. This story centers around sisters Dina and Reggie Somerville, who've both been unlucky in love in sort of their own different ways, but very unlucky nonetheless. So they're both single and a little bit bitter as Reggie comes home to Somerville to help in the planning of the vow renewal ceremony for her parents. Y'all, this is sort of a 2-for-1 romance, as both sisters end up wrapped up in these kind of I shouldn't love you, but I love you anyway kind of romance situations, which Susan Mallery actually does really well. In this kind of situation where you have two storylines sort of intertwining and overlapping, it would be easy for them to get muddled together, but they don't. I feel like it's done really well in this book. There are characters that I really like. They're very endearing. There's witty banter. The characters develop in interesting ways. Now, don't get me wrong. There are things that happen that you're like, wait, how did you not see that coming? Because the Three Blind Mice could have seen it coming, but you just kind of have to play along with it. It's kind of a too good to be true romance, but y'all, I was in for it. I was down for the whole thing. I truly enjoyed it. I think a foreshadowing of the too good to be trueness that I completely missed was the too good to be true sort of overly charming, too perfect small town that it's set in. I should have picked up on that from the beginning, that a story set in that kind of setting is just going to be too good to be true, and it was, and I loved it. An element that I really enjoyed was the sort of quirky nature of the planning of the vow renewal ceremony. The mom is completely over the top, just out of her mind planning this ceremony, and it's just so much fun. So I recommend this book. It's a very fun holiday read. Are you going to learn anything from it? Are you going to come away from it changed? Probably not. But it's a fun read and I really enjoyed it. My next read is one that I knew I was going to love, and I loved it because I love Mary Kay Andrews. This is The Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews. Y'all, it's a quick little read coming in right at 200 pages, and y'all, again, hits all the Christmas tropes, and I am in for it. Of course, we have the Christmas season. It has a divorced woman starting over, moving to North Carolina, new state, new town, new everything, to a broken down farmhouse that she bought sight unseen over the internet. So we have the character on her own. Of course, we have the requisite small town. In this one, we have the widowed elderly gentleman who is befriended by our main character. We have the quirky sidekick best friend. We have a failing business that the formerly big city main character is able to help with her formerly big city ways. And of course, we have the snow and the small town events. Y'all, we got it all. So like I mentioned, our main character, Ivy, is starting over after a nasty divorce. She moves to this dilapidated farmhouse in North Carolina to just sort of cleanse herself of all the things, just start over. She wants a clean, fresh start. She wants to live somewhere that just doesn't remind her at all of the life that she had. From very early in the book, we start seeing hints of some sort of magic going on. She finds a Santa suit, hence the name of the book, that was left by the former owners of the house, and there's some sort of magical something going on with this suit. So you get the sense from early on that there is a hard suspension of disbelief that you're gonna have in order for this book to work for you. And y'all, it's true. You have to go with that throughout the book. I'm not going to give any details because I really don't want to give any spoilers, but just bear in mind that throughout the book, there are things that you're going to read that you're like, wait, what? No. Y'all, we started off with the magical Santa suit. It's a very fun read, chock full of holiday spirit and the magic of Christmas, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So my final romance is Just Like Magic by Sarah Hogle. Y'all, I hadn't even planned on reading this book. I had my whole TBR laid out, all planned. I knew what I was going to do. I knew what I was going to read. And then I saw this book flash up. I don't know if it was on Goodreads. I don't know where I saw it. But I saw it and I was like, I will have that, please. And I'm so glad that I did. I went into it expecting a lot. I don't know why. I knew nothing about Sarah Hogle. I knew nothing about anything about this book. But it just looked like fun. And I loved most of it. Like the other books, this one gives all of the Christmas feels, but with a twist. This one has, I don't even know how to say it. This one has some reality to it mixed in with the magic. Betty, our main character, was a successful social media influencer until she wasn't. She made some bad choices, followed some bad advice, and things fell apart. Well, she hasn't told anyone any of that. She's lied and set up scams to try to make it seem like she's still the influencer and the successful business person that she either was or pretended to be in the past. So she has this whole facade created, and now the holidays are approaching, and she's expected to go to her very successful movie star grandmother's house for the family Christmas, which brings with it all of the normal holiday stresses, compounded with the stress of her having to keep up this facade that she's created for herself. So Betty is all stressed out about all this, and she accidentally conjures the holiday spirit in human form, and y'all, absolute lunacy ensues. It is hysterical. The characters in this book are fantastic. Almost every one of them is unlikable, and still you can't help loving them and cheering for them. The events are ridiculous. They're over the top, and they're just so much fun. They're completely unbelievable, and still you find yourself buying in and really enjoying the adventure. Like I said, I loved most of this book. There's a point sort of in the middle where it becomes just an absolute sappy romance for a while, and I wasn't really down for it, but that might have been more a me thing than a book thing. I don't know. If anybody reads this book, let me know what you think, and you'll know exactly the part I'm talking about when you get to it. Let me know what you think about that part. It may be a necessary point in the development and progression of the characters, I just, like I said, and maybe I had just read too many romances back to back. So I truly believe that was a me thing, not a book thing. So if anybody reads the book or if you've read it, let me know what you think about that point. But all in all, I love this book. I expected to like it, and I liked it a lot more than I really thought that I would. I love the characters. The conversation is witty. The situations they get themselves into are hysterical. The writing is good, and the characters actually go through transformations, both actual real transformations like changes in their characters and changes in just how they see what's going on around them. So for some of them, the situations around them actually change. But for some of them and some of the situations, they just change how they see the situation. And I think that's really interesting and enlightening, because for some of us, and I think for all of us, sometimes that's really what we need to do, is just kind of change how we see things, change how we're looking at things. And we'll realize that situations that we think we're in or trouble that we think we're in isn't really what we think it is. Just like magic, fantastic Christmas read. I absolutely recommend it. Y'all, that's it for the romance portion of my TBR list. I'm working on the fiction portion right now, and I'll come back when I have those read and give you an update on what I think about those, and then I'll give you just sort of a rundown of all the books that I've read and what I think about them. In the meantime, let me know what you guys are reading. What's on your TBR? What are you reading now? And what do you hope to maybe read at some point in the future? Y'all, thank you so much for coming to my channel. If you haven't already done so, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I upload new food and fitness videos every Monday with some book videos sprinkled in between. See y'all on the next one.